a different quarterback, but it's still all about the quarterback at Oklahoma. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, checking out the Sooners win over Houston on opening night in Norman, 49-31. Let's talk about one Jalen Hurts, who looked mighty impressive in Oklahoma Lincoln Riley's offense, and everybody looks impressive in that offense. They keep rolling. It's the most prolific offense in college football, and we talked all offseason about what it would look in regards to the difference between Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and now Jalen Hurts, how the Oklahoma offense would need to be accommodated for a quarterback who didn't necessarily have the passing skills of Kyler or Baker, but maybe different running skills than those two guys. Maybe not better or not as good, but just different. He certainly has a body type that would allow him to run into defenders, maybe on short yardage situations, and gain those additional yards because he just has the power and the strength, as we saw during the squatting demonstration there during the offseason. We saw during the game broadcast for Jalen Hurts. He's just a different type runner, certainly, than either Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray. He doesn't have the moves that Kyler Murray does, but is still a dynamic running quarterback, as evidenced by 176 yards rushing tonight. That is the second most in the history of the program. And the top performance all time is by a wishbone quarterback in Thomas Lott in 1976 against Kansas State. So Jalen Hurts made his mark in game number one with 508 total yards. That's the fifth most in Sooners history. He only let the football hit the ground 3 times, 20 of 23 for 332 yards. So the passing display was certainly more than adequate. I'm not going to say that it was sterling. He didn't have to make extremely difficult throws, but he delivered the ball downfield in his debut at Oklahoma. And again, he's just a bit of a different type of quarterback. I said all offseason that Baker Mayfield proved to be the best quarterback in college football. He was certainly in that top 5 to 10 range, but when it was all said and done, he proved to be the best quarterback in college football. Kyler Murray was the best in college football last season. There was much debate about that, but he proved to be one of the top 3, certainly, and I believe to be the best. And now I thought that Oklahoma was certainly getting a capable quarterback in Jalen Hurts, but maybe a top 20 to 25 player, but maybe he's better than that. They were playing an awful defense in Houston. This is a Houston defense that was ranked number 118 in points given up last year, number 118 at 37 points per game, and, of course, Oklahoma hit them up for 49. Jalen Hurts was asked after the game, after setting all the records and putting up that kind of yardage totals, both passing and running, if he was pleased with the effort, and he was not. He said, we did some good things, but we've got to get a whole lot better. So I think that speaks to his leadership after accounting for 3 passing and 3 rushing touchdowns, 6 total touchdowns. The Oklahoma defense might be the unit that either propels them into a college football playoff appearance again or keeps them back and allows Texas to catch up this season. And the defense looked devastating early. They were really manhandling Houston up front, and they turned in a decent performance. They were up 42-17, gave up a couple late touchdowns that didn't much matter against De'Ara King. And De'Ara King, in his own right, is a dynamic quarterback, and he only accounted for 167 yards passing, 103 rushing. But again, most of that came after Oklahoma had built its lead. The Sooners put on the pressure early in the game, so the pass rush was devastating early, really chasing King around the field. Kenneth Murray is by far the best player on the defense, continues to be, after racking up 155 tackles last year. He had 13 in this game, 2.5 tackles for loss. Neville Gallimore is also an impressive player. He closed on the quarterback a number of times and showed his worth up front. But Houston still gained 5.7 yards per rush, and 241 yards rushing. And in college football, that includes sacks. So Houston's rushing attack was even more potent than 5.7 yards per carry. All right. Oklahoma's going to play in some tough games, some close games you would think down the stretch at some point in the season. Of course, Texas is coming onto the schedule here pretty soon, and Oklahoma missed 2 field goals. Austin Seibert only missed 2 all of 2018, but Caleb Sutherland with 2 missed field goals, so Oklahoma's going to have to shore that up. And but I'm impressed by the wide receiver play in particular. So we've been hearing about Jaden Hazelwood's skills as an incoming freshman in the 2019 class, and he only caught 2 passes, 1 a 4-yarder, but the 42-yarder showed what he could do as he basically split defenders, shook defenders off, and took it inside the 5-yard line. Charleston Rambo also had a big night with 105 yards receiving, and again, the Oklahoma receivers would catch the football, split defenders, show their speed in outrunning the Houston defensive backs on a regular basis in this one. All right, that's game number 1 for Oklahoma. It's in the books, 49-31. They did not cover the spread, but they certainly covered what they needed to on offense in scoring 6 touchdowns by Jalen Hurts, 7 total for the Sooners in outdistancing Houston 49-31. Again, the case and the jury is still out on Alex Grinch's defense and the new defensive coordinator and his impact on Oklahoma football. Will this be like a 90th rated defense again, or will they improve enough for Oklahoma to win the Big 12 again and possibly do some damage this time after losing 3 consecutive college football playoff appearances in 2015? Yes, 17 and 18 against the likes of Clemson, Georgia, and Alabama. Let's talk up Oklahoma football right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, and we will see you soon.